Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? I know it's been a little while since I've come on and done my energy medicine videos. I'm just recovering right now from some surgery that I had, so won't be doing any yoga for a little bit longer, maybe another week or so. If you're wondering what this is Louis. He's decided he wants to be part of this video as well. He kind of likes to be in the spotlight. Anyway, so I have a really important topic, a really interesting topic that I wanted to bring up today, and it really has a lot to do with kind of the moment that we're in right now that we're all struggling with and trying to understand. So as you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're right smack dab in the peak of things where we're kind of wondering what's happening next. So we know that there's a vaccine out. There's a lot of controversy around getting it. There's a lot of controversy around masks. There's a lot of controversy around this pandemic and why it's even happening. Is it man-made? Is it not? A lot of different questions. Anyway, I'm hoping that I can shed some light because I myself am wondering. And, I see everything through the eyes of energy, through the eyes of the elements, through the eyes of the chakras, and not just, my own views and theories on it, but I follow my own teachers who have been studying this for like 40 years. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a little bit of proof of where I'm getting this information from as well, just because, I think that it's important that you see that, it's not just me talking. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up first is, I don't know about you, but lately I've been feeling really deflated, a little bit uninspired, very unmotivated, just lethargic, and it's really hard to get myself moving again. And in order to even to come on here to make a video, it's like pulling teeth for me. It's like I feel really uninspired, and I've always said that in order to feel inspired, in order to be inspiring, you have to get inspired. So a lot of times when I'm feeling this way, I will try to fill myself back up through watching, some of my favorite teachers, some of my favorite inspiration, and it kind of, it gives me a little bit of an ignition, like an ignite of my fire element in order to bring a little bit of movement into my life. And that's, something that I think we're all struggling with. I know that Desiree, my daughter, even posted about that as well, how she's just feeling not even inspired to teach yoga lately. And I want you to know that if you're feeling this, it's really okay. And it's really, you're not alone. One of the things that, we rely on sometimes is, being able to go and work out. And working out helps to ignite our core, and our core is our power center. So if we're not nourishing and feeding our power center properly, it's not going to give us what we need to move forward. So when we don't have that, that organic kind of fuel, which is like passion, right? It can be core work in order to ignite, then we'll do other things to ignite that are not sustainable, such as reaching for sugar or coffee or stimulants, or, sometimes we'll work too much. Anything we can do to keep that fire going, but it has to be sustainable in order for us to keep going. See you later, Louie. So just watch yourself and just notice, what are you doing in order to be able to keep your fire going. So I wanted to bring this idea into like the theme of this talk. Power is something that we are in right now. So I study with Anna Judith, and if you're not familiar with her, she is the chakra guru. She has like many books that are like bestsellers that talk about the chakras. She brought the chakras over from the Eastern world to introduce it to the Western world. She has the book Eastern Body, Western Mind, which brings them together. And it's one of the recommended or mandatory readings for yoga instructors for many different yoga programs. So she's very knowledgeable. She's been studying the chakras, the energies for 40 years. And in my mind, the chakras is really, it's about what happened to us. So each one has an energy center that is developed throughout life. So we have a different energy center that is nourished in different parts of our life from womb until 20, and then they start over again. So anything that happens within that first, time, that first level of the development of them is going to affect the next level. So everything from 0 to 20 will affect 20 and up. So for example, first chakra being safety, being support. If we have any issues in that area, in that time, which is womb to 6 months old, we're going to have troubles leaving home. We're going to have troubles with money. We're going to have troubles taking any kind of risk or moving away from safety. Okay, so just to give you an idea. So just like we have to move through our energy centers, through our chakras, throughout life, our universe, our world also has to move through. And we are currently only in the third chakra, which is our power. And if you look around, you'll see that everything is about power. Everything is power over. You have to have power. You have to, steal other people's power and power over in order to be anything, right? You have to be strong. You have to be powerful. And power is great. And we have, developed a lot of things in our universe, in our world to have power. But are we misusing it or are we giving it away? When we go through our own time of development, which is around, let's say, what is it now? Between 2 and maybe 4 is like our power energy development stage. So it's that terrible 2 stage where everything is mine, me, no. And we have these really strong egos that, prevent us from getting what we need. And, we have temper tantrums, and it doesn't work for us when we get older, but it worked for us at that time. That was our coping strategy, because kids have to find a way to get what they need because they can't do it for themselves, right? So, we either have temper tantrums or we give away our power. It depends on whatever our parents nourished, okay? So if you were the child that was told to shut up, sit down, be quiet, right? Then you're handing over your power. Or you rebelled and overpowered the people that were trying to power over you. And so it depends on who wins, right? But later on in life, we use that same strategy to get what we want. And our world right now is in this power over energy. If you look at our politics, if you look at our politicians, our governments, our legal systems, our pharmacare, all of those are, powerful beyond measure, and we are obeying, we're giving away our power. And then there's a few of us who are standing up for ourselves and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let you take away my power. But as we move through this, right, our next stage is going to be love. And in order to be able to move there, we need to be able to stand in our power, to be able to use that power to take back our ability to heal, our ability to be happy, to be able to take care of ourselves, because we are losing trust in our healthcare system, in our government, in our politicians, and in our authority in general. We're losing trust. So one by one, we're starting to say, you know what? I need to take care of myself. I need to love myself. I need to take care of myself because there's nobody else who can do it. And as we do that, as we unite and come together, we are in an initiation stage where we are shown that when we are taken away from our connections, our innate primal need to be connected to people, when that's taken away from us, we realize, oh my God, we, are to have taken for granted what, this magical thing that we are supposed to be doing, and that is to be able to connect and relate and take care of each other. We're on our phones, we're on our video games, we're doing everything to disconnect from one another. So, this pandemic has really forced us to come back together, to realize what it feels like to be disconnected on a really deep level, and to really appreciate being alone with ourselves, and to be able to maybe have a little bit of distrust in some of these other things that we trust so deeply, like everything else around us and outside of us, that we've forgotten to love and trust ourselves, right? So we're now taking back our power, we're standing in our power, we're taking over our ability to heal. We're looking for ways to heal ourselves through holistic health. And a lot of it is because we have lost faith in everything else, right? So it's like, okay, we need to do this on our own. But we don't. We don't have to do it on our own. We have to take care of ourselves, yes. But we have each other. And that is what is so amazing. So what I wanted to share with you, which is so crazily amazing, I'm just so excited to share this with you, is I studied with Anadea Judith, and a week ago I was on a Zoom call with her, and I asked her a question because when I was with her a couple of years ago in New York, she did a talk on this global heart awareness where she said that we are moving from this place of power into this place of love. And even though what we're going through right now is so scary and so, awful, I guess, it's still not as scary and awful as what our ancestors went through. And so when we can appreciate that, we can look at the darkness that we're in right now and, this polarity of black and white, of dark and light, we can actually use this darkness to shine another light on, to go, okay, this is what I need to see. This is the lesson here that I need to learn. And looking at where did I come from? Where am I now? And using that information to move forward. Okay, so I've had to move away from the fireplace because I was starting to actually cook. So where was I? So we're moving from power, we're moving into love. So once we move into love, we have this opportunity to love ourselves again, to get to understand who we are. What is it that we like to do? What is it that I can do from my heart in order to be able to give service to others, right? So we have an intention. We intend and we do it from our heart, and then we have to serve others in order to be able to feel like we have purpose in our lives and in this world. So as we come inside again in this winter time, we have to use this time wisely to really feel. We have to come back to a place where we can actually feel again. So when we, we're stripped of our power, we are also stripped of our ability to feel anything. And so when we don't feel anything, we don't feel anything. So if we're told, that doesn't hurt, I'll give you something to cry about, and, stop feeling, emotions are vulnerable, they're a sign of weakness. Big boys don't cry, right? We stop feeling. And when we stop feeling anything, we stop feeling everything. So when we don't feel our pain, when we don't feel our emotions, we also stop feeling love. We also stop feeling empathy. We stop allowing ourselves to be human beings, and we do and do and do. We become human doings in order to distract that idea of feeling. So as we come inside, everything gets loud, our thoughts get loud, our emotions get large, and we can't just run away from them. We can't just, go and do something or distract ourselves. So we have to actually feel what we're feeling. And from that place, we get to feel what it is that we're actually passionate about. So taking this time to reflect on, what were you put on this earth to do? What is this one thing that, you're passionate about that you can do from the heart and share with others? Throughout this whole pandemic, I realized that, I'm a creative. I think that there was a time in my life where I actually let go of that and, became very much a human doing and stopped doing what I love to do, and that's to create. And from that, I can really be passionate, and I can really lose myself and go in the flow and not be thinking about all of the distractions and things that, don't really make me happy. But once you find that thing that you love to do, there's this way of manifesting it. And when we talk about the chakras, often we talk about the chakras from the base to the top. So moving from this dense, patterned kind of lifestyle where we feel really stuck and we don't move much, because we know that, the earth energy is very heavy, it's very dense, it doesn't move very fast. And so when we're really into that energy, we also have that ability to get stuck and not move. So as we move up towards the higher levels, the upper chakras, we're moving to a lighter, less dense energy where we have more freedom, more room to move, more air to breathe, more space to expand into. And that's great. But once we get there, we have to bring that energy back down. So there's a polarity of energy. There's the chakras energy that moves up towards freedom, and then there's another one that moves down towards manifestation and solidity. So we reach this idea of freedom where we go, oh yeah, I'm here, I've got this idea, I'm free, I've let go of everything, all of my patterns, all of my addictions. And then we go, yeah, and I've got this great idea, but then we don't know how to manifest it into an experience. It just becomes an idea or a whim, right? And it just goes around and around, and we think about it and become overwhelmed over it because we don't know how to make it happen. So here's an idea that I want you to think about. So it's called Creating on Purpose. And again, Anna Day Judith writes a book and even has a course on creating on purpose. It's actually the one that I was supposed to be teaching with her. I'm very passionate about this idea because I really think there's a lot of people that have amazing ideas but don't know how to make them happen. So here's how you break it down into 7 levels. And it's like breaking it down into the 7 chakras. Now, as we do that, as we move downward towards manifestation, we can actually observe each energy center and find out where our blocks are, because those blocks are actually blocks that took place somewhere in our life, usually in the developmental stage. Okay, so let's go through them together. The first one being chakra 7, which is our wisdom, it's our knowledge, it's our connection to oneness, and it's also our spirituality. So it's our beliefs. So what is it that you know? What is it that you believe? What is the idea that you have that you want to manifest? So we put it out there. We say, okay, what is it that I want to do, or how do I do it? And we have to be open to receive that answer. So just like if I've always said, if you've been watching me and following me, you'll know that I use the analogy. If I said to you, all butterflies were yellow, your brain is wired to look for that answer. So it says, are they though? And so you might not consciously think about that, but the next time you see a butterfly, your brain will automatically go there and go, is it yellow? So you're wired to look for the answer. So you can use that theory or that idea in any situation. If you're trying to manifest love, if you're trying to manifest money, whatever it is, you're going to be wired to answer that question if you're open to receive it. So think of an idea. Okay, I want to build a house. Okay, so you go, what do I need to do to build a house? Okay, so you might research it. You might start to look at books on how to build a house. You might look at the internet. You might, just start looking for some ideas. What kind of house do I want to build? What is it going to look like? Okay, so then having said that, you're going to bring that down into the 3rd eye chakra, where you go, what does my house look like? You might start looking at pictures of it. You might start deciding what kind of, concept it's going to have, how many rooms it's going to have. You'll close your eyes and you'll start to imagine what that house looks like. You might dream about it, right? These are all 3rd eye. These are all your inner seeing, right? And so as we move down through these blocks, you can stop and say, what is it that's blocking me from seeing? If I said to you, can you imagine what that house looks like? And you go, I actually can't. Okay, well, there's one of your blocks. What is it in that developmental stage, in that time of your life? Usually it's the teenager, right? Young adolescence. What was it that you didn't want to see? And it doesn't actually have to be in that developmental stage. It really can be in any of them. It's just that is the strongest time in which it's developed. So that's where most of the damage can be done, but it can really be in any of the stages. So, sometimes we see things that we don't want to see. Sometimes we're told that what we see isn't real. Daddy's not drunk, he's just taking a nap, right? That kind of stuff. Okay, so we start to imagine, because seeing is believing. If you can see your goal, then you can believe it. It's like your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So in your mind, you've seen it before. You've been there before. You've done it before. So you want to be able to use that visualization to create your reality. Athletes, famous athletes, they actually use this idea in order to become skilled at what they're trying to do. So if they're trying to score a goal, there's actually a study, there's a test where they took 2 groups of athletes, and they had one group actually practice scoring a goal and the other one just imagined it. And when they came back together to test the theory, they were actually equally just as skilled. So the ones that didn't actually physically practice it got as much practice by practicing it in their mind's eye. So it's pretty amazing how powerful the mind's eye can be. Okay, so then you bring it down to the next chakra, which is your throat. Your throat is your vibration, it's your frequency, it's your truth. So whatever you say has to be truthful. So if you say, I want to build a house, but you don't really want to build a house, that's not truthful. But if you say, I want to build a house, and you really, really do, then you're speaking with a vibration that is very, very high, and it will resonate with anybody out there who might be on that frequency. So when we say something, have you ever said, well, I don't want to talk about it because if I say it out loud, then it's going to happen, or, I'm going to make it happen, or maybe I don't want it to happen. But we know that if we say something, we're putting it out there, and whatever we put out comes back to us. So if you say, hey, I want to build a house, and someone goes, hey, I know somebody who can help you with that. Hey, I know somebody who's skilled at that. So we actually can create a reality by putting it out there, but we have to speak from our heart. It has to be the truth. Okay, so taking it down to the heart, how much do you love this idea? How much do you want to relate to other people about this idea? So when we speak from the heart, we make connections, we develop relationships with the contractors, with, the people at the bookstore that sell the books, with our friends, with our family, with anybody who might be able to help us. We put it out there and we make connections and we relate from passion, from our heart. Okay, and then from there we take it down to the third chakra, which is our power, right? So our power is our ability to get it done. It's our ability to make things happen, right? To put it out there and make it happen, to get the process started. It's our fire, it's our fuel. It's like, it's the passion that really drives that engine. And so the passion coming from the second chakra is, the movement. It's going out there and starting to manifest this idea. And when we manifest it, we bring it down to the base chakra, which is the root, right? So it's the physical form. So now we've actually broken ground. We've actually started to make it happen. And then what's really important, the most important thing of all, is that you celebrate. Okay, so every time you celebrate your manifestations and the things that your goals, we prove to the body that it can be done and how good it feels when it is done. And so the body remembers what it feels like to celebrate and to feel good about something, and then it wants to do it again. So every time we do it, we make it possible to have more of it. So it's like creating on purpose. And so I'm going to put these links in the video down below so that you can actually look them up if you want more information. So hopefully that, I'm hoping that this is going to give you a little bit more inspiration in order to feel motivated, to just know that whatever we're in right now is just a cycle. Remember that, okay? Everything is cyclical. So, regardless of anything you've ever heard about doomsday or Armageddon or the end of the world or whatever, it's not the end of anything. It's the end of a cycle. And at the end of every cycle, we know is a new beginning. So never think about anything as the end or death or that's it, okay? Always think about, the cycle is ending, right? Just like we get to the seventh chakra, right? And we get to this place of freedom. And then we have to start over, right? And that's awesome. We never want to be stuck in one cycle. We always want to keep moving. And as we move out of love, right, we move into the throat chakra, which is about truth and being able to all speak from one truth, from one religion, from one place of our heart. And that's all I have to say. So I really hope that, if you have any questions, please reach out and ask me. I have a lot of information on this. This is something that's very dear to my heart and I'm very passionate about. And, at the end of the day, I have a lot of faith in, all of this. I just feel like this is happening for a reason. This is nothing to be upset about. This is something to learn from, to be grateful for, and to just know that, the best is yet to come. And from there, I'm going to say namaste. And I hope you guys have a really amazing Christmas. And connect however you can, the best way that you can, in the safest way that you can. And I hope to see you in the new year.